and talk about something that's, I think everyone wants to talk about right now, which is the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis is the freak show that boxing deserves. Wednesday's announcement that Jake Paul's next dance partner would be Gervonta Tank Davis spawned a reaction outside the typical boxing bubble. The one where your friend who typically isn't a boxing fan sends you a screenshot of a fight poster accompanied by a few exciting emojis asking you to explain the 5 W's of journalism: who, what, when, where, and most importantly, why. Jake Paul, who's 12-1 with 7 KOs, a YouTuber turned cruiserweight and founder of Most Valuable Promotions, who at his career's heaviest weight as 227, and current WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis, who's 30-0-1 with 28 KOs, who's made the 135-pound weight limit in his last 6 contests, guys. What do you guys think of this match? We're going to start with you, LT, and kind of get your take on what do you think this match means for boxing. It's an exhibition, so it's not like a real deal match, but what do you think it means for boxing? Do you think it's a freak show, or do you think it's a real contest?
Look, I think it's still a freak show. I'll start off there. Okay. Jake Paul, I'm kind of tired of him, to be honest with you. It's bad for the sport of boxing, in my opinion. The reasoning is because of the huge weight difference. You have a guy that's now ranked, according to some sites, in the top 15 of his weight division as far as Jake Paul, which is already crazy in my opinion, because he's never fought anybody really in that division. He only fights people that are 100 pounds less or 100 years older. So it's just it's crazy to me that people put him into the kind of that bubble as far as, oh man, he's such a big draw. He's a big draw because people want to watch him get knocked out, right? That's the thing.
He fought.
Is Tank gonna do that? No.
Chavez, to his credit, Chavez Jr., he fought him to his credit. You know what I mean? Chavez Jr. is the only legitimate boxer that I can count on, that he fought.
Chavez looked like he wasn't throwing nothing.
Chavez has been
not at all. Not at all. And when he started throwing punches, he was getting them, hitting them. Mm-hmm. But it was probably like the last 2 rounds.
It's the same thing with Tyson. Tyson's 100 years old and doesn't have. He still looked. There was points in that fight where you could see him stop when he was coming across with a hook, and I was just like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what am I watching?
He was thinking about that 20 million.
Exactly. It's become more of a joke at this point, to be honest with you. And I think it's a joke that he's even ranked. If I'm being honest, I'm really tired of it.
I didn't even know that he's ranked.
They said that the only reason they did that is so he could probably get a title shot. So they're trying to get this dude a title shot. They really are. And it's sad to say that. He's going to get destroyed.
Would you give him a title shot though? Like he's the cruiserweight division. I don't know who's even there right now. I mean, that's not even like Bivol or any of those guys right there. They're not in that crew. The cruiserweight division is kind of like one of those weight classes. I think the last great cruiserweight that I can think of, I'm not sure if Usyk, I think his name Usyk. I think he might have been at some point in time in the cruiserweight division. But the last one that I can really think of was Evander Holyfield. That was like the last. I mean, before he jumped up to heavyweight, he was the last guy who anyone talked about at that weight class. It's just one of those kind of weird weight classes that no one cares about. If you can get a name like a Jake Paul to come into boxing and get a belt, do you know what that's gonna do for boxing in general? It'll be huge. Don't get me wrong.
It'll ruin it.
I mean, just as far as he'll get knocked out. Let's just be real. He's gonna get beat up and knocked out.
You're gonna have to make it credible, right? That's the thing I'm talking about here. You have to make him credible in general. Who has he fought? Let's be very honest, okay? He has fought MMA fighters. Okay, number one, guys that are either grapplers for the most part or guys that are supposedly great at stand-up, but if you put them in the boxing world, that's a totally different thing. Then it becomes more about the footwork. It becomes more about the jabs, things of that nature. If you're talking about MMA boxing, it's very, very different. You have wider stances. The footwork doesn't matter as much because you're talking about kicks, checking, all this other crap, right? Whenever you're talking about Jake Paul in a boxing ring, okay, he's good. I'm not saying he's not good at boxing. He's obviously good. He's been training for years. Okay. He's going to be good or better than your average boxer. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Better than one of us got in the ring somewhere and winning boxing right now. Is he going to be as good as like a real ranked boxer? They're going to be, I mean, they put him up against, okay, say he's ranked 15th, right? If they put him up against whoever's ranked 14th, he's beating him. Not Jake Paul. He's going to lose. Jake Paul's going to lose it. I'm going to be clear. He's going to lose.
Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury.
I'm about to
He
say put him
lost
against
to Tommy
rank 30.
Fury.
Hey, man, what is your take on this right here as well? Let's just, they kind of go around the horn a little bit, but feel free to jump in whenever you can.
We talking about money. We talking about money. That's all it is. It's just like what does Tank have to gain fighting stars for, like he can fight superstars for less money, and it's good for legacy. But who cares about legacy other than everyone? Like, we care about legacy. He's the one that has to wake up tomorrow after a fight, and he has to walk and bleed.
Does he got 100 acre? Would he buy the 11,000 or whatever? Wherever he bought that piece of land right there, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely about the reward to him. It's not about the awards, it's about the reward. You know what I mean?
We're gonna talk about his legacy. We're gonna talk about his legacy, but he's gonna be the one waking up like he pees blood and he's got to go to the hospital for a couple days.
Like Tank right now?
Yeah, Tank. He's gonna be the one that has to wake up just in pain for his legacy when he could just make a bunch of money and then walk away.
Let me give some context to what Man is talking about right now. I had a conversation with me and my brother a little earlier, just talking about just legacy in general. To me, I think that it's going to harm Tank's legacy because of the point he is in his career. He needs to fight all the top fighters now, in my personal opinion, because he just does not have that his legacy is not there. He has not cemented who he is in boxing just yet. I understand the money. If the money comes, I'm gonna go get the money. There's a big bag waiting right now. I'll probably take the bag too. But this will also kind of prevent him from taking some of those fights that he's going to need to take right now in his career to get to where he's going. My brother said, you know what? Let's get the money. The money's more important. And it is. It's boxing. Because like Man said, you're one who's going to have to walk around battered, bruised, and scarred, for the rest of your career, can barely talk properly, because of boxing without the money. Look at the certain guys like, Evander Holyfield, filed bankruptcy, things of that nature. Those guys went broke. Because it happens in sports. You get all that money, you spend a lot of money. Things happen. But go ahead, though. You guys can finish the point.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Mike, go ahead, man.
Shit, man, my opinion on it, man. Honestly, it's a joke to me. You know what I'm saying? It really is a joke to me. Tank hard, man. Tank hard. And I don't feel like he, like how Wes was saying, like he got like mad hate. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. He probably has had a lot of hate, but I don't see it to the extent to where it's at until he fought with Roach, and that's really well deserved. Bro play like shit for real. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing nothing. Roach should have won that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Roach really the reason why he even taking this fight in the first place, because nobody really rocking with Tank right now. You know what I'm saying? But if I was Tank, like I'd have looked at like, bro, I'm Tank. You know what I mean? Like, what do I need? Yeah, it's money. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, but Tank got bread. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Money ain't no such thing as not enough bread. You know what I mean? You're gonna still try to get your money, but
150, 200.
But Jay, in the boxing world, Jake Paul is a joke. You know what I'm saying? He really is a joke. So I mean, if you really respected the game of boxing as a real boxer, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have took it if I was Tank.
Let me ask you this question, though, Mike. Do you think any other boxer would take that fight right now? Any other boxer you ask, you can go across the board. Any of them. Except for, possibly Canelo, because I think he came up to Canelo and asked Canelo about the fight. Canelo got big money. Tank ain't got Canelo money yet. He ain't fought. This is just for his first big contract. Is right now. He's just got his first big contract. And I think at the end of the day, they're probably pushing on him a little bit. Like, hey, remember how they did to when Mayweather got his first big contract? He got big paydays when he fought De La Hoya and the rest of those guys. During that time, he had big paydays. But after the I can't remember the guy's name he fought. I can't remember, but basically he punched him after it. They shook hands, they kind of hugged and stuff, and he knocked him out. And then after that, he got his Showtime deal. It was like a 6-fight deal for he was getting $30 million something guaranteed per fight. It was the biggest deal in boxing, one of the biggest deals in boxing at the time. So this is Tank's first big deal. I don't think he did numbers with any of the fights except for probably Ryan Garcia. Was probably the only fight where he did numbers with. They're probably like, hey, bro, the investments, man, is not being paid off. That's why they pushed Mayweather to fight Pacquiao when he did. And that's why he fought him to the second to the last fight of his contract was with Pacquiao, because his numbers weren't that great. They did good with Canelo, but they didn't do very well with Maidana. They didn't do very well with I think he fought this guy named the Ghost. I can't remember. That was his first fight. The numbers weren't there to kind of make up for the money that they're spending on you. So he might be being pushed into taking this fight because hey, you gotta pay the bank back no matter what. You
I
still
mean,
gotta
that's
pay the bank back.
understandable. That's understandable. And even with the question that you asked, like what fighters would take, honestly, truth be told, I think any fighter would take it, but I would look at it more so like a real boxer, especially like Tank, I do it not for the bread, but to shut him down for real, for real. Like Jake Paul think he one of the greatest right now for no reason though. You ain't fought nobody that's credible. You fought some greats, but greats that been past their prime. They ain't doing nothing no
Absolutely.
more. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like if I was a fighter right now and I'm up like that, I would have been fighting him not for the pay, but just to lay him down. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be my only reason to do that.
Well,
I
this is a
really hope.
genius move by Tank,
Absolutely.
in my opinion. Okay, I think this is a no-win situation for Jake, which is stupidity written all over it by him. You're facing a guy 100 pounds lighter than you. I mean, let's be honest. I understand it's about the bread, right?
Yeah.
I get that portion of it, but if you're trying to tell everybody you're trying to be a legitimate contender
Mhm.
and you want to go after titles and all this BS that he keeps, chirping about, he's full of you know what, man. He's full of gas, right? Let's
Mhm.
let's call it what it is. All you're doing is going after basically legacy guys who are big names, which is fantastic. I think that's great for the money stuff, but you can't say the same stuff when you're talking about, oh, I want to be a contender. I want to go fight for the title. I want to. If you're doing that, you're fighting guys in that division. You're fighting contenders in that division. You're not fighting the champion 15 weight classes down. That doesn't make any sense on anybody's board. It's a no-win situation for him because now if he wins, what then, right? Okay, you beat a guy that you're supposed to beat, right? It's a stupidity scenario for him. Now if you're Tank on the other hand, right, it's genius because now your name is still talked about at this point because right now there's a huge fight out there right now, right? The other
Absolutely.
names, right? That
Absolutely.
everybody's talking about right now,
They're gonna
and there's
roll
a
right in. Yeah.
Yep, and there's a female fight coming out that everybody's talking about too that's being made apparently. So there's a couple of big fights that are coming, right? What's
Why do
the
you
what's
why do
the
you think
name that can keep you there?
Why do you think that should matter to Tank though? Because if anytime Tank comes out with a fight,
Hmm.
he's Tank. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
I
still
get
gonna make the
that.
noise. You know what I'm
I
saying? So what's
understand what you're saying, but it's a winning scenario for him because everybody, it's
Mhm.
kind of alluding to what you said earlier. And I like the point that you made about Roach fight, right? Because he lost that fight. Let's be very honest. I thought he lost the fight, in my opinion. Okay.
Mhm.
What's a way that you can get everybody to forget about that and start talking to you again, right? It's not taking that same fighter again that's dangerous to you and your style. It's taking a fighter that hey, look, I have a chance to beat this guy. I don't think he would have taken this fight if he thought there was any chance and you know what that he's going to get knocked out. Okay, I don't see him getting knocked out. I actually see this being a bad fight for Jake, to be honest with you. The Tank's footwork, his defense, the way he holds his gloves to the body, he's a very different style fighter than Jake has ever fought, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to go well for him. He's going to get touched up. He's going to get pieced up. It's going to be bad.
I kind of it's gonna be hard. Tank is what 70 pounds, maybe. If you're looking at 227 as heaviest weight, and Tank comes in and he's fought at 135, you're damn near 100 pounds before you came in 100 pounds. But it's very difficult for somebody 5'4", and Jake's whatever height he is, not or no sure he's over 6 foot, 227 pounds versus one. It's gonna be hard for him to knock him out, in my personal opinion. He's gonna be, unless it's just like he's hurting him to the point to where he wears him down, But I think this is a very dangerous fight for both of them. Really, I mean, it's very dangerous for Jake Paul because of his legacy. Not legacy as far as
if he loses, he's done. You
Yeah.
can't lose to somebody 100 pounds. I'm sorry. You cannot lose to
it's tough.
somebody
Nah,
seventy
I think
pounds
it's I
lighter.
think it's going to end in a draw, but I think I think what
that's
Jake
more
Paul,
realistic.
yeah, I think Jake
I
Paul
like
what
that.
he's going to try to do a lot is going because Tank's a slow starter. I think Jake Paul is going to try to be very
Aggressive.
up on those, and then it looks like oh he won the first 2-3 rounds because he was so active.
Hmm.
And Tank's probably going to be playing with him, and then it's just going to look even on the score, but it's just going to he's just not going to knock him out. I don't think so.
He
I think
probably
he's
already
going to out-volume him in the later rounds, man.
Mhm.
Jake has a tendency, if you go back, even his fights
just
recently against old wash fighters, he starts losing his technique in round 3. He starts kind of really bobbling around the ring. His footwork is off by round 5. If he doesn't
Windmills
fix
after
the
that.
cardio situation, he's gonna get pieced up late, and it's gonna be. I'm telling you, once Tank gets in the groove and he starts really throwing those bombs that he throws to the body, that's night night.
I don't
me.
know what's gonna happen, but Tank could knock him out for sure. Don't get me wrong, he is small, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody in this little chat
Not
room right
playing.
now has seen somebody smaller knock out somebody 6'4". You know what I'm saying? Like it's happened plenty of times. So it's not rare. It's not uncommon. It happens. You know what I'm saying?
It has
He
happened,
opens
but
up
it's
a lot in the later rounds. Like I said, Jake gets touched up once it gets past round 4. If you go back to his Tyson fight, if you go back to any fight, really,
you
he
can
starts
smother
getting
him though.
touched a lot. And if you put the pressure on him, he really starts to open that mouth, right? That mouth's wide open, the chin's up. It's
Yeah.
the gloves come
He,
And he
down.
throws
this,
those
I
That's
mean,
windmills.
bad.
He throws those
he
He throws the
those right
looping
there,
shots.
and
Yep.
and that whole thing's open.
leaves his chin open. But I mean, he can smother a lot of Tank shots though, really for how big he is. You know what I mean? He can kind of over him, just lean on Tank a lot too, and tire Tank down the exact same way
Sure.
too, grabbing, holding. I mean, a lot of that can be happening. We saw it happen in some of his previous fights. I mean, this is, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, this is a money fight for both of them. And so hopefully they actually go in there and fight, and it's not a joke. But I think right now, I mean, it was the best move for Tank at this time because of the money. No matter what, boxing is a sport where it's finicky. He could have gotten knocked out last fight, Tank, and then we'd be looking at him way differently right now. Everyone,
Wow.
So you
you know,
without the money thing, you don't think that look bad to almost lose a fight and then you decide to take a fight with Jake Paul instead of trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, to me,
that's goofy to me.
it shields you to a degree because you're taking a bigger fight. Because if I fight you again, Lamont Roach, I'm the draw. The reason no one even cares who you are. So so no matter what, I have to bring all the people to come watch the fight. Lamont Roach can go fight anybody he wants right now, and nobody's gonna go watch it. No one of us gonna care, nothing. So all the money that's bringing to this fight is being brought by Tank. So instead of that happening, I know this dude's probably gonna bring 60-70% of the bread this time. I don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna bring my 40-50%. The people gonna come see about me because I'm Tank, but he's bigger than me. Jake Paul's bigger than Tank. Period. He gets paid more than Tank does because he owns his own promotions company. His fights are bigger than his are. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. And that's kind of what that boils down to. It's like, don't get me wrong, fight Lamont Roach later. But the thing about boxing is it's about the money, man. Yes, it's great. It's about legacy too. Don't get me wrong. I'm a legacy boxer. I love that too. But I want these dudes to walk away with a bag at the end of the day. Because most of them walk away and they're broke and they're hurt, you know what I mean? And you've taken all that punishment, and we don't really realize that's the worst CTE sport there is. That's worse than football. Imagine getting hit in the head this is what's happening. The whole training, everything you do all the time is all about getting punched in the head. Football, maybe you might get hit in the head a couple of times. You might ram your head up against some, but you got a helmet on. These people are literally fighting people all day long, people punching you in the head. Imagine that.
They're professionals at punching you in the head too.
Yep.
They're the best people to punch you in the head in the world.
So I mean, it's not that I'm all for this fight, because I do believe in the legacy side of boxing. I think it's going to end up harming him in the long run if he's not good with his. I pray he's great with his money, because in the long run, people are going to look at him like you're not going to be able to do a lot of commentating. People are going to look for you like they'll look for like a Sugar Ray during his time, or like a George Foreman during their time, or a Evander Holyfield, or even like a Lennox Lewis. They're not going to come to you for that, because you're not going to have the actual numbers and the legacy to be able to demand that. However, if you get the money and you good, it don't really matter at the end of the day. But let me switch over